understand that things don't work. I understand it, girl. I understand sometimes love hurts. I know. But you don't gotta be unsure if I'm what you deserve. My goal for us is to make it work. And I know it seems sometimes I don't care, but I do. And I know it seems sometimes I'm not telling you the truth. But baby, why lie when you are everything to me? But baby, why lie, girl, and ruin what we'd be? No. And this is for my beautiful girls around the world, who are sure of their worth, your worth. I don't care what perfume you wear or what's in your purse. Cause baby, you're still beautiful below the surface. You should've known this. You should know. So you don't gotta be insecure with me. You don't know that's in store with me. You don't gotta be so insecure with me. No, girl, I promise that's in store with me. There's more, yeah. I understand you have a past. I understand that things don't last. I understand that things don't work. I understand sometimes love hurts. Oh yeah.
Welcome to WODU Sports Pregame Show. My name is Jalen Brinson.
I'm Grayson McKinney.
And today is ODU's homecoming. And we will be playing the UNC-Charlotte 49ers. Grayson, do you like anything to say as we open up this pregame show?
If this is a game for ODU to win, they're going against the right team. Charlotte got their first win of the season last week against UAB in overtime for a record of 1-7. ODU coming off a tough loss to University of North Texas, losing their sixth straight. So hopefully they can get it going today. I mean, there's going to be a lot of people there to see it.
I feel like ODU's going to have to win this game after starting 2-0 and losing 6 straight. That's just not where we expect it to be at this point in the season. Well, we could salvage something, and if we win the rest of our games, we could still make a bowl game. But we go down and lose 7. There goes our bowl hopes for the season. But like Grayson said, I feel like we have a pretty good chance of winning this game. Charlotte did win their first game last week, but for this to be our homecoming game, and I feel like our record doesn't show how good we are on paper. And I feel like on paper we can actually do something against Charlotte.
Definitely. I mean, Charlotte last week, like I said, they beat UAB, which is a good team. I think they're second in the CUSA West. And anyone can win on any given week. Mm-hmm. But this is a Charlotte team that only scores 14.5 points a game, and they give up 32 points a game. ODU, they're averaging 21 points a game. So they can just kind of go along with that. They should be able to win. And I want to see them get started early. Because last week against UNT, they didn't score their first offensive touchdown until the third quarter.
And we had to rely on those 2 kickoff returns to keep it in the game. But like Grayson said, UNC Charlotte is only averaging 15 points a game. But our defense has been a little suspect throughout the season. So you never know when if a team can get going against us. But also, it's ironic that our defense usually carries us when we actually play well. Our defense plays well. So I feel like we could hold Charlotte to their season average, or we might be able to put up, leave them in single digits. So, of course, our defense is our catalyst, and our offense can get going based off of how our defense plays. So I feel like we can win this game, but we can't take it lightly just because it's our homecoming and just because this team only has one win. They're coming off of momentum, winning their last game, so we got to keep our ODU has to keep their head on their swivel.
And we've seen, obviously, a special team shine. Like we said last week, Isaiah Harper had 2 kick return touchdowns. We've seen areas where our offense has done well. Last week in the third quarter, we scored 2 touchdowns, and we've seen our defense do well. Like last week, UNT didn't score any points in the third quarter. We just haven't seen them be able to put all 3 of those aspects together for a full game. So if they can get special teams, offense, and defense clicking, this could be a special team. It's just they haven't been on the same page, it seems like, once this season.
And a lot of times, throughout the year, ODU's defense has shown promise in every game. It's just that we sometimes don't come out strong early, getting defensive stops. We usually in the second half when like the game is so far out of reach, that's when our defense decides to play. If we decide to have that same intensity that we show in the second half of games this year and put it all together throughout the game, I feel like we definitely have a pretty good chance of winning this game.
And it's trying to eliminate the mistakes. Last week, ODU had a lead in the third quarter, and then we had a fumble at our own, I think, a 29-yard line. North Texas capitalized on it, and then they had a second-half interception. And I think all the fourth quarter drives for ODU, it was fumble and then back-to-back turnover on downs. So it's eliminating those mistakes and trying to force some turnovers on the defensive side of the ball.
So Ray Lowry only had nine carries last week, but I believe his first game back versus Western Kentucky, he had a breakout game. So Grayson, what do you expect to see from Ray Lowry tonight? Do you think he's gonna, recover from that UNT game, or is you feel like he's not gonna get the same amount of carries like he did against Western Kentucky?
Well, I think what Coach Wilder is doing, we also have Jeremy Cox, who had a good game last week. He had 24 carries for 109 yards. So I think he tries to get whoever has the hot hand. Mm-hmm. But I think obviously playing at home, we saw what Lowry did last time here at ODU. He had the breakout game against Western Kentucky. So I'd like to see him have a bigger role. We've seen Wilder go to a 2 running back set with both in the backfield, or even they've put Jeremy Cox in the slot and had Ray Lowry in the backfield. So I think Ray Lowry needs to have a bigger role in this game just to get the offense clicking.
So we have a member of our team out in the field. He didn't call on the. Are we supposed to be able to hear them?
I'm not sure.
Hey, can you guys hear us?
Yeah, Mel, you got us?
Yeah, can you see us? Can you see us?
We're starting to be able to hear y'all slightly. We can hear you slightly. Can you hear us?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear.
Yeah, we can hear you. Yeah, I can hear you slightly.
Is there any way to turn the volume up?
Is the volume on? Is that what he said?
You have to turn the mic up.
Yeah. Can y'all see us?
Say something again.
Yo. Can y'all see us?
We can hear you, but it's very low.
Can you see us? Can you see us? Jalen.
Yeah.
Can you see us?
Huh?
Can you see us?
Yeah, we can see y'all.
He said yeah. All right.
We can see y'all. We just can't hear you.
What'd you say? Say it again.
I said we can see you, but we just can't hear you that well.
So they can't hear that.
Hold up.
Yeah. Oh well. Hey, Jalen. Tell him that's what's gonna happen. Tell him.
Hey, yo, why can't we hear you? All right. So now they're telling us to just do our thing, and then just tell the audience to watch one of their Instagram lives.
Oh, okay.
So me and Grayson tried to get Mello and Trey out during the tailgate to give you a little perspective on what's going on out there, but can't seem to hear them. So we're just gonna go ahead and do the show right here. And if you want to tune in, you got to check out Trey's Instagram Live or Mello's Instagram Live. But so where were we at, Grayson? I think we were talking about Ray Lowry's impact on the game.
Yeah.
And you feel like he might go off for one of those 100-yard games this game?
Yeah, hopefully. I think he needs a bigger role than 9 carries a game. I think they have an advantage having a guy like Ray Lowry and Jeremy Cox, so they can kind of switch in and out or move around.
Mm-hmm.
But I think he needs more than 9 carries to kind of get going and get some momentum.
So like you say, Coach Wilder likes to carry the hot hand, but do you feel like there's also like a good strategy to have like 2 backs fresh in and out and get split carries so
Definitely.
They can stay fresh throughout the game?
Definitely. We've seen when Ray came back, he liked to have Ray as the primary ball handler, the primary running back, and he had Jeremy Cox lined up as a receiver a lot of times to just kind of distract the defense, and he would have both of them lined up behind Stephen Williams.
Mm-hmm.
But Ray got the bulk of the carries, and he had over 200 yards against Western Kentucky, and they kind of went away from that against North Texas.
So what do you feel like how is Stephen Williams gonna have to impact this game? Is he gonna have to have a big role, or just like a time manager, keep don't turn the ball over, keep the ball safe, no INTs? Or is he going to have a big game for them to pull this out?
I think to start off, he's just going to have to play smart, kind of eliminate those freshman mistakes we've seen out of him this season. I mean, he only has 4 touchdowns to 11 interceptions on the year. I think the bottom line is he just has to play smart, hope maybe feed off the running game if we can get it going. And we haven't really seen much out of the receivers. And we've seen shines of a good play from guys like Melvin Vaughn, We've seen some good catches from Fulgham, but we don't have that standout guy like we had with Jonathan Duhart. And that's, I think, really hurting the offense. Stephen Williams doesn't feel like he has a guy he knows he can go to, especially on those 3rd and 5s, 3rd and 6s, because you can't expect to run the ball every time on those 3rd and longs.
I feel like the freshman Williams, just going to have to try to control the ball and just limit his turnovers. I feel like he could be a pretty good quarterback, like a dual threat guy if he, I know he doesn't have his top receiver in Duhart, but you want to try to limit, forcing the ball and coverage and stuff like that, because when you have 2 backs that you can rely on, you don't have to try to do everything yourself. Just, go with the safe play, go with the check down from time to time, and then go ahead and hand it off to your main backs, and they can help you out. You don't have to. I know you're a quarterback, but you don't have to do everything by yourself.
Yeah, you mentioned going with the safe play, and we've seen out of him a lot. He can get out of the pocket, but sometimes he'll either throw on the run or make a bad decision when he's out of the pocket, and sometimes you just have to either get down or throw it out of bounds. You always see him forcing some throws, which is kind of come back to bite him in some instances.
Yeah, Grayson, that's exactly what I was talking about. He's pretty good when he's in the pocket and he has a lot of time, but when he gets a little pressure and gets a little flustered where he has to escape the pocket, usually, sometimes from time to time, he'll tuck it, pick up some good yards, but when it gets tough and he still has pressure coming from behind him or coming towards him, he likes to force the ball in coverage. But when he has time, he can really see the field, and it's just when he breaks the pocket, he's going to have to try to make smarter decisions and think about, what down it is, the situation, field position, stuff like that.
And this is all, I think, to be expected with a young quarterback. I think he just turned 18 either today or yesterday. So, and I commend Coach Wilder and this team for kind of letting him grow in the offense, because they easily could have taken him out after some bad games and put in an older guy like LaRussa. But I think they realized that Williams is the quarterback of the future. He's going to be this team for the next few years. So I think it's just kind of growing pains. And once they find their way, it should be fine. But it's just trying to get through those freshman mistakes, and hopefully he can put together a few more good games in this season and have something good going in to next season.
Yeah, I said during the beginning of the year that Coach Wilder should have just stuck with one quarterback to start the year. It's not really good to keep switching from quarterback to quarterback, because it's one thing have the skill as a quarterback, but you also have to have the confidence in yourself and the confidence in your coaches and the confidence in the team. It's difficult to play quarterback in D1 or at any level when you gotta, every throw is being critiqued, and if you make one mistake, you might end up not playing for the rest of the game. So the fact that they kept with Stephen Williams, even though they are on this 6-game losing streak, it just shows that they have trust in them and they're trusting the process. So they're gonna let the kid make mistakes, but it's okay because they're gonna leave him in the game, and they just trust his development. He may mess up here and there, but as long as he still shows progression, they're gonna leave him in the game.
Exactly.
So UNC-Charlotte is 1-7, but what do you feel like could be a potential weakness for ODU as far as their offensive game?
I think definitely the secondary. We've seen holes in that secondary. ODU is a team that allows 36 points a game, and they allow 437 yards a game, and that's on the ground and through the air. So they have a good, I think, front line. If they can get pressure to the quarterback and kind of watch their throws, it's fine. But if the defense is having trouble getting to the quarterback and they give the other team time, it seems like they're able to pick apart our secondary. So they just need to kind of lock it down more in defense. And that also leads back to the offense. We've seen games where the offense has quick 3 and outs and the defense doesn't have time. They're constantly on the field.
Yeah, I feel like ODU defensively, we don't really blitz often as far as sending more than the front 4 linemen. So I feel like a lot of times Coach Wilder relies on his D linemen to get to the quarterback. But, that's also good because the less people you blitz, the more you have in coverage. So I feel like the front line's going to have to get pressure on the quarterback to start the game off, because the minute you start having the blitz, when the front line's not getting pressure, it leaves less people in coverage. And if you're not getting to the quarterback on the blitz, you're going to leave your corners and your safeties on an island. And a lot of times this season, that's what happens. That's how other teams get big plays, because the corners can't cover for so long if we're blitzing and can't get to the quarterback.
And if the offense can't stay on the field and the defense, I mean, a tired defense is almost not useless, but not nearly as good as a fresh defense.
Yeah,
so, I mean, the offense needs to convert those third downs, keep the defense off the field for as long as possible.
Yeah, like we are a defensive-minded team and we have a strong defense. However, if, like you said, if our offense is sputtering, going 3 and out, and then, losing the field position game, it's kind of hard. No matter, you can have the best defense, but if you are starting in your own territory, it's gonna be hard to keep opponent off the scoreboard.
And you look at guys on defense like Addison, Denzel Williams, Brickhouse, and these are the guys who I think this team looks to make plays. And we've seen Denzel Williams play great this year, but we've also seen him miss a lot of open field tackles, blow some coverages. And I think we just need to look at the best players on defense to make plays and kind of let everyone rally around that. I think if you can get one good play or one good rush on defense, it kind of lets momentum. So if they can come out early and dominate some of the battles at the line of scrimmage, score some points, maybe force a turnover, they should be good. But ODU, they have a tendency of starting off slow, and they're always playing from behind.
Exactly, and that also affects the rushing game with Ray Lowry and Jeremy Cox. When you get down by maybe 10 points or more, you're gonna have to speed things up, which means you're gonna have to get the ball down the field quicker, which means you're gonna take the running game out of the game, and you have to rely on the young Steven Williams to produce at a high rate. When you're down by so much, you can't really run the ball because the clock's gonna be running out of time on you. But back on the defensive end, O'Shane is the leader in the front seven on the defense, and he struggled versus Power 5 opponents, versus North Carolina and Virginia Tech. But he's been coming along these last couple of weeks, getting to the quarterback, and also doing strip sacks when he gets there. So I feel like this game could be a very important game for him as far as applying pressure on the quarterback and getting a couple sacks.
Definitely. We always look for a big play. I mean, obviously it would be great if we could see some special teams scores, but you can't rely on that every week. So I think anything to get a big play. I mean, it's homecoming. There'll be a lot of people there. Kind of get the crowd into it, get the team into it. Just starting off strong, I think, is a key for ODU, especially this week and, frankly, for the rest of the season.
I feel like a lot of times, players are told not to really pay attention to the crowd, pay attention to the game, act like it's just a regular game. But when you have home field advantage and it's homecoming, you can use the fans to your advantage, hype them up, make good plays, get good stops, get the crowd involved, and then actually use your home field advantage. I mean, because it's there for a reason. You're home for a reason. Everyone in the crowd is rooting for you for a reason. So just go out there and do your best. And the fans are going to be rowdy anyway because it's homecoming. So just, play in the moment.
And Charlotte's going to be ready to play. I mean, they're looking to spoil the homecoming.
Yes.
And last week, they won in overtime. And not only that, they won on a 2-point conversion. They scored a University of Alabama Birmingham scored a touchdown in overtime. Charlotte scored one, and they won for a 2-point conversion. So they were kind of all or nothing, and they're coming in on more of a win streak than ODU is. Mm-hmm. So I think they're ready to play spoiler, and they'll be ready to play.
Anytime, in this college atmosphere, anytime a team finds out that they're going on the road and playing against somebody's homecoming, back in my days in high school, you always wanted to spoil your opponent's homecoming like that. It was just wonderful to win those road games and be like, I ruined your homecoming for you. So that's probably definitely what Charlotte's going to look to do, is spoil our homecoming. And it's up to us to, not let the fans down, and most importantly, not let themselves down. You want to end this 6-game losing streak after starting 2-0. You had so many high expectations in the conference. You got at least win this game versus Charlotte.
And also, Charlotte last week, they were down 17-0 late in the third quarter, and they came back and won that game. So I think it's important for ODU to get started and to hold a lead. They've been playing from behind too much this season.
Mm-hmm.
They haven't really been playing with the lead or playing to protect the lead as much as we'd like to see.
So I know our offense has been struggling for the most part of this year, but we do have sort of kind of offensive explosion as far as our special teams play with Harper at the kick return spot. You know, if we like allow a touchdown or come off at halftime or start the game off, anytime Harper touches the ball in that kickoff return, he has a chance to take it to the house. So I feel like, you know, in this environment today, Harper could really set the tone as far as, you know, how this game is going to start out and the outcome. And maybe he can bust one long for this game and maybe send one to the house again.
Definitely. I mean, it was great to see that last week, and we've seen it before this season. I think that was his third touchdown on a kickoff. And on the other side of special teams, ODU seems to have problems pinning teams back. They're always, like you said earlier, they're losing the field position battle. They've been losing the time of possession battle. So even if you can get an exciting play on special teams, whether it be a touchdown or pinning someone back real far, just something to get the offense into it. And so they're not, the defense isn't starting at a disadvantage or the offense isn't starting deep.
Most definitely. Cade is like a hit or miss as far as punting the ball. Sometimes he'll punt maybe 25 yards. Maybe he'll get a 65 yards. So you never know what the ball will do coming off of his leg. But to prevent that field position troubles is the offense has to move the ball. They may, you know, you don't have to score a touchdown every possession, but you at least got to pick up a first down or two, you know, just to get the ball up the field and you help your defense out a little bit.
And we've seen, even if you can get him in position, I mean, Nick Rice was excellent last week kicking. I don't think he missed one. So, I mean, if you can just get in the position to score points, I mean, that should be the goal of every drive is to score points, not go 3 and out and put the defense at a disadvantage.
So, Grayson, what would you say the score is going to be in this game?
I think it's going to be a high-scoring game because both of these defenses allow a lot of points. Hopefully, ODU can be on the top side of that. But I think both teams can put up 30 points easily because, I mean, we've seen Charlotte struggle on offense. But we've also seen ODU struggle on defense scoring points. So I think ODU can win this 38-31.
That is a good prediction, Grayson. I feel like it's gonna be a great defensive game for us. As you know, Charlotte also has their struggles offensively, but I feel like we can get it going based off of how our defense plays and our special teams play. So I feel like I said, the defense is gonna have a great game today. I feel like we can win. I feel like we can win like 38-10. If we start off great defensively, get on the board early, and maybe get like a 10-0 or a 14-3 lead. I feel like we can definitely win by at least 2 touchdowns in this game.
I mean, there's definitely a lot of ways this game could go. I mean, we could see either of these offenses blow up on the opposing defense, or you can see either of these defense really shut down the other offense. Because both of these teams, granted, ODU, they're averaging more points per game, but both of these defenses are suspect, and both of these offenses don't score a lot of points. So I think if both defenses come out and play shutdown, it's going to rely on maybe one key drive. But there's a lot of ways I see this game going.
So, ODU homecoming game today at 3:30. Make sure you tune in. Me and my co-host Trey are going to be calling the game, and stay tuned. And this is WODU Sports. My name is Jalen Brinson.
I'm Grayson McKinney.
And that is the pregame show.
secrets, looking like you need it. 'Cause I got you, you, you. I got you, I got you. 'Cause I got you, you, you. I got you, I got you. We can get high, oh na na na. We can get low, oh na na na. Let me be a friend, baby, let me in. Tell you no lies, oh na na na. We can get lost, oh na na na. Take it all off, oh na na na. Let me be a friend, baby, let me in. Give it to me all, oh na na na. Tell me what you're thinking, always overthinking. I just wanna love you, I got you. Don't have to be so guarded, let's finish what we started.